Hey, Dan Passarelli here. Well, we wrapped up the week, and looks like we're actually ended up a smidge on the week, which seemed surprising as of yesterday's performance with the big outside day red candle. Today, we had a pretty quiet market. The S&P 500 up 0.7% at the end of the day, but the most notable thing about trading this week is that the technical resistance at the 50-day moving average held. And of course, we have some other resistance points, some pivot points at about that same level earlier. As far as to the downside, there was a little bit of support, and we're kind of stuck in this range, but the stronger of the support or the resistance is the resistance. And so that technical held, and we'll see what we can do next week. Now, there's something else interesting on this chart. Take a look at the implied volatility. The implied volatility has resided above historical volatility all the way since April in the SPY. That means we've been dealing with some overpriced implied volatility. Now, that said, for those of you who look at the real finer points, and I hope you do, the way Thinkorswim calculates their implied volatility is the same calculation used for the VIX, which takes into account a lot of strikes, including very much lower strikes that traded higher volatilities. So this volatility chart is a little bit elevated, so it's a smidge misleading when we see that it's been above historical for so long. But the bigger that differential, the more confidence we can have in saying it's above historical, and options are arguably, maybe even not arguably, overpriced, right? And they have been and are. So that gives us some volatility selling opportunities. Now, that said, next week is a huge week for the jobs front. Next week, we have the JOLTS report coming out. We also have the usual Thursday unemployment figures. And then we have the monthly unemployment figure, which is almost always the first Friday of the month. And holy moly, next Friday is September already. Do you believe that? It's crazy. But that means that we have the jobs report. So all eyes are going to be on that. And one more thing that I would like to remind you of, tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, we have a special training on covered calls and cash secured puts, and why, when people trade them, 97% of traders leave money on the table trading covered calls and cash secured puts. So if you use options in your investing, you should definitely attend my training tomorrow, and you can sign up by going to this link that pops up right after this. This is Dan Passarelli, Trade Smart.